Acabamos de salir de un ensayo agotador con el maestro Kirill Gerstein, que va a tocar dos piezas con nosotros esta semana. Thank you so much for joining us.
Wonderful to be here.
Yo quería preguntarle, sabemos que él toca música clásica, por supuesto, música moderna, música jazz, de todos los tipos. Supongo que es de las personas que piensan que solo hay música buena y música mala, ¿no?
I think I certainly enjoy good music that is not only classical, but jazz and popular and cabaret and everything. And of course what I concentrate on mainly is the core classical repertoire, but I find that my adventures in other musical styles and genres help enrich my experience and also and bring something additional to playing the classical repertoire.
Dice que él disfruta de la buena música y no solo la clásica, y tocando jazz, tocando cabaret, incluso tocando otras cosas que ha comentado, que esto le enriquece su experiencia. Estas aventuras fuera de lo que es el núcleo de la música clásica, a él le enriquece todo esto. Ravel es un gran conocido orquestador, orquestó grandes piezas para la orquesta. ¿Cómo es para su escritura, para el piano?
Well, I think it's similar. Basically anything that Ravel does is really like a Swiss watchmaker. It's perfectly done. And it is a unique and perfectly executed style for two hands, and of course in the left-hand concerto we have a special situation, and it's absolutely brilliantly done. I think the audience doesn't perceive that this is so in any way a limitation or that it sounds like one hand, and it's very challenging for the pianist, but on the other hand it's also very idiomatic for the keyboard, even with one hand. And to think that he couldn't play it himself, this with one hand, when he demonstrated this concerto to friends, we know he played it with two hands, but that he had the genius to see how it's possible and to make such a brilliant arrangement of the musical material for one hand.
Ni el mismo Ravel era capaz de tocar este piano solamente con la mano izquierda. Cuando él se lo tocaba a sus amigos, lo tenía que tocar con las dos manos, pero él tenía el genio de imaginar que se podía tocar todo esto con una sola mano. Nos cuenta que efectivamente Ravel era un genio, era como un relojero suizo. Todas las piezas estaban perfectamente encajadas, todo estaba muy bien hecho, tanto para la orquesta como para el piano en este caso. Y ahora queremos preguntarle al maestro que nos comente un poco esta pieza de Strauss, que se toca, aquí en España la hemos tocado muy poco.
Yes, Burleske is a very early piece by Strauss. It comes from the period when he was the assistant of Hans von Bülow in Meiningen, and he was about 19. And he wrote this piece, and apparently the first rehearsal was absolutely disastrous. And we know that Strauss tried to play the piano part and conduct himself, so this was quite problematic, and Hans von Bülow said that this is an absolute trash or nightmare, he called it, this piece. And then for a couple of years it had a rest, and then a great pianist, Eugene Dalbert, a student of Liszt, came and thought this was a wonderful piece, and then he took it up in the repertoire. And since then it really is, so it's not very often played, but it has really received a following, and even Strauss himself was quite fond of this piece. So late in his life there's a recording from the BBC proms of him conducting this piece, and I think we can pay particular attention to the coda, where there comes this valse sentimental that really foresees some parts in Rosenkavalier, and a lot of the piece also has elements like Die Eulenspiegel just a couple of years later. So I think it's an important piece of young Strauss, but it doesn't matter only where it stands in his history, but it's just a wonderful and very entertaining piece for piano and orchestra, and very virtuosic, not only for piano but for orchestra and for the conductor. So it's very interactive.
Yes, it is. Nos cuenta que es una pieza del joven Strauss, tenía solamente 19 años, era asistente de Hans von Bülow, el famoso director en Meiningen, y escribió esta pieza. Y él intentó en un concierto, el día del estreno, en el primer ensayo, intentó tocar y dirigir a la vez. Y Hans von Bülow le dijo, mira, esto es una pesadilla, un desastre, olvídate de esto que no vale para nada. 2 años después vino Eugene Dalbert, un famoso pianista discípulo de Liszt, que dijo, oye, esta pieza es muy buena, y desde entonces se ha incorporado al repertorio. No se toca muy habitualmente, pero Incluso nos contaba que hay una grabación del propio Richard Strauss en los BBC, en los proms de la BBC en Londres, donde aparece él dirigiendo. Bueno, pues no le queremos molestar más, queremos que descanse para mañana y para pasado, desearle mucho éxito y muchas gracias por su tiempo con nosotros.
Gracias,
Thank you so much.